Hi students, Maliki here. So this is part one of a sweeper set of video tutorials I'm going to do on the second semester house project that you've been working on with myself and Tom on Fridays. So I just thought it'd be a good idea, again, just to do a series of relatively short videos uh, to help people along. So if you have been following along and everything is good, then perhaps these aren't as necessary. If you have found yourself falling behind or you've not even started yet, worse, these will be of good help to you as well. So I'm doing these in conjunction with the recordings that Tom myself do on for our class on Friday mornings. Um, and I'll do things a little bit differently to Tom, which is normal enough, you know. Everybody has their own way of going about things, so long as what you provide at the end is what is required on your brief in this occasion here. And I'm starting off with our template plan. So I gave you this template plan, and you should all have started your project using this. And two things I want to check first. I'll go into the ground floor plan. Is that I've actually adjusted the grid layout here to match what we decided we would do on the very first day we had a go at this on the Fridays. So we decided that 295 was going to be the width of the party walls. So that's a 215 solid block plus cavity. Plus a small service cavity and a plasterboard finish. So these are set out according to what we agreed at the time. You notice as well that we are operating on the basis of finish face interior, and the reason we do this is because you have been given planning permission for a certain floor area in here. And the easiest way for us to build this model and maintain that floor area is to go finish face interior rather than the other way around, which can exaggerate things. So when you are in a brand new project and you're laying out grids and levels, which is, you know, generally what we would always do first, but you do that based on the site, obviously, and the room that you have on the site. The worst thing that can happen is that you design something that oversails the site boundary or something like that. That will cause severe problems. Uh, so you would have your site, and you would have your targets of what you want to achieve in terms of floor area. And from there, you would lay out your grids and levels. So I'm going to check my levels here. So here's my grids, and you notice that I can't see my levels. So I'm going down to that command down there. See it? Let's move this one slightly out of the way. This one here, if I click on this one, it exposes everything that's gone beyond the that is beyond the crop box. Now, so I'm just going to check these. So these are correct: -9, 0, 2.7, 5.4. I like all of those. So what I'm going to do is select one and grab these and shift them over, and I'll do it on this end as well here, like so. I do not need that grid all the way up here. So that's going to bring that back down. So I'm just kind of, I always do this with my projects. I always go through plans and then the elevations to make sure that I've got my, you see what I mean? You've got my levels intersecting with my grids, and that's hugely important here. Notice that 2D, 3D. If it's 2D, I can move that line, that level line on its own. But if it's 3D and grab the little grip that's there, um, they should all move over. They're not going to do it for me this time, just to show off. So we'll try that again. See the little line down there? That's telling me that these are kind of connected, and Revit is smart enough to know to line these up as well. So again, I'll come over here to this one here, see if I can grab that grip. I can move these over. Notice that this grid line has gone back, is not gone back up here. It's just, it's there as a result of this view. And again, view specific is something you'll hear us talk a lot about as well. So if I've got the north right, then the south should be correct as well. If these pop up on your screen, leave them. All right, they are there specifically so that we have these two sub folders in here: building section, wall section. If I delete those will disappear, and that means you have to reestablish them again. I'm going to hit my crop region now, and look, so you can see there's the kind of crop region. I can leave it like that. Now I can hit that X and I can hide what's there, and I can turn off the crop region, and I'm working in that area now. So I've got my north sorted, I've got my east sorted, and my west should be sorted as well. What's that line there? That is your imported CAD plan, which we are going to use as a basis for sketching over, basically. Now, that's more or less how we would set up grids and levels and everything else like that. Okay, I'm going to pull these out here a little bit so there's not overlap there. Right, I'm back to my ground floor plan. And so first thing I would do here is I'm going to draw in the external walls. And if I go over to Tom's plan here, you'll notice that we've got the basic wall, ATEW, external wall 01. Okay, and then you've got the AT external wall 02. So we're distinguishing these two here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my architecture wall, drop down box here, and AT external wall 1. Now I'm going to draw this clockwise. I'm going to make sure that it's finish face interior, and I'm going to draw this clockwise on the intersection of the grids here. Now you can see that that is immediately popping into position there. Again, intersection of the grids. And if you're wondering why the grids are slightly different to the CAD plan that's underneath, well, the CAD plan is literally just, we're just using it as an underlay, as a sketch. But our precise drawing is done via the grids here. Right, so I'm going to go into wall. I'm going to do this again. And we're going to pick EW2. And again, finish face interior. I'm going from the ground finish floor level up to the first finish floor level. And you might ask me, why don't we go the whole way up to the wall plate level? Well, rule of thumb on all Revit projects is that whatever is on the ground floor plan goes on the ground floor plan. Whatever's on the first floor plan goes on the first floor plan. So it might seem more efficient to raise the walls up, but I can guarantee you it is not. It'll come back to bite you at a later stage. So don't do that. Just take it on read at the moment that this is what we need to be doing. Everything goes on the ground floor plan and on the first floor plan. Now, escape. Let's have a look at this. Make sure that our junction has joined up very nicely there, and it has. Okay. So that's my external walls on the ground floor done. Now I'm going to do the partition walls. I'm going to check and select, see what Tom has here. So this is internal wall 01. All right, so we'll come back over to here, go wall, architectural, and we're looking for AT internal wall 01. And again, I'm not going to do center line because I want to work. I will do center line this time. I'll tell you why. No, I don't need to. Right, I'll do finish face exterior. It doesn't really matter if you pick interior or exterior. Now again, I'm looking for the grid intersection here. So see the way it's come over that side. So if I was drawing my wall up this way, it's correct. Now because this wall is symmetrical, I can just hit the space bar and it'll pop over. And again, I'll bring this the whole way down and escape. Okay, escape once. And I've got that one in position now. And I'm going to come over here. And again, hit space bar and swap that over to the other side. Okay, I'll hit escape once. And this time I'll do it correctly. And I'll go from that intersection there up. Now, it doesn't really make a difference here. Okay, so we've got that nice connection happening in between the block work basically happening there. Okay, so that's how we would start this off and get our walls in place. Let's take a look at the properties of the wall. So we built this wall with exterior side, see that, render, then concrete masonry unit, then an air gap of 10, an insulation thermal layer of 90, concrete masonry brick there, an air gap, which is a service cavity, and plaster or plaster board. It's probably what I would have used there. Okay, so that's kind of how we built up that one. And the external one is the same, except one of the render isn't to the front, it's brickwork. All right, that's basically that one. What we want to do now is put in our foundation walls. And if I go back to how Tom has done this, have a look. So that was a particular choice, okay? And you might be asking, other lectures would have told you that you need solid walls coming up here and whatever. It's kind of horses for courses. It all depends on where you're actually building these and where the groundwater level is and various things like that. So if the groundwater level was high here, you might do a solid wall down there because obviously the water would get in and probably rot that insulation, or it would act as a almost a siphon to bring the water up further, and you don't want that to happen either. So in this case, my understanding is that within the studio, you've looked at this. The advantage of this is I'll bring in that insulation all the way down there, is that it does provide um, somewhat of a protection in terms of thermal leakage and whatever else, and there's our thing there. There's our foundation there. We'll come to have a look at that. So let's have a look and see what that. This is 80 below ground wall 01. All right. So I can go back over to my ground floor plan. We do this now. So I'm going to choose that. This is ATBW01, which is this one here. And again, I'm going to draw this clockwise. But watch what I'm going to do here. So because this is a below ground wall, it's going to go from the top down, whereas above ground walls go from the bottom up. I think that we explained that to you. So look, I'm going from the ground finished floor level, right, to the ground finished floor level. That seems to be contradictory, except if we're going to put in a base offset of minus 900. All right, now we're going to do finish face interior again. And I'm going to start over this side here. And I'm going to start there. Now, what will happen is as soon as I click here into that intersection, it's going to shout at me. And what it's saying is that we can't see it in this view, which is very true. That's okay. And then we go there. And we will go here. And then we'll complete that by going over to that intersection there. So that's it, escape. And time now to draw in a couple of section lines. So I'm going up here to section. I'm going to pull that one across there. Second one, which is going to come down through here. Now, so if I do this section here, let's see. Okay, now I choose the wrong wall for starters, so I'm going to pick that. A bit annoying. I thought I picked the correct one, but I obviously didn't. And that's kind of the things that happen. And we're going to swap those out now for the AT below ground wall 1. All right. And I what to do here. I'll go into that section here now, and I'll pick that one. And that needs to be swapped out for the AT below ground 1. And this is what I wanted to see. So you can see, oh yeah, that's the back wall there. So we're going to line these up now. We're going to use our modify tool, and we're going to use this command called align. We're going to say to this, align that. That's perfect. And we're going to say over this one, to this align. Now we're going to get that line in there. So I'm going to hit the tab button once, and that's that one there. So the block work is aligned up the whole way there. Let's go into this section and do that over here as well. So it's going to be align to this, align that inside one, hit the tab once, there we go. And then we'll come over here and we will say to this, align this tab once, and that's that one. All right, now escape. I'm going to save that project. It reminded me there, which is good. And now I'm going to go into a 3D view. So here's my 3D view, and you can see I've got my lower wall there. So before I create the foundations, I'm going to do a similar job here in that I am going to put in a rising wall underneath this wall here. So let's see what Tom has for that. Okay. Cancel. And so let's get into a 3D in this one here. Okay, or actually what we need to do is go into a section. That would have been clever. So double click that, and again, wrong section. Let's get into this one. Okay, and is that my one? Yeah, that's my one. Oh, sorry, get back into, need to close down some of these views here. So I can get back into Tom's ground floor level. Sit there. So let's get into this one. And we're going to pick that wall and see what that is there. So that's AT below ground wall 2. All right. So we're going to do the exact same thing here into my ground floor plan here now. And we're going to go wall architectural. And we're going to choose the AT below ground 2. And we're going to go from ground to ground at minus 900. All right. Ground to ground minus 900. And in this case, I am going to go wall center line. Okay. Because that will line up a little bit better for me. Okay. Escape once. Let's come over and we'll do this one. Let's go all the way up here. Okay. And last one in here. You can see how the center line kind of works this one nicely. So it should line up the block work nicely for me there. Let's take a look at this. Okay, perfect. Lined up the block work there. Now I'm going to go into a 3D of the ground floor plan here. I'm going to go in the underneath, and to place this foundation, we are going to go over to structural tab, and we're going to pick this wall and hit edit type here, and you can see we've got a 900 by 300 in situ cast concrete, absolutely perfect. And I can pick one wall and put it in, but if I hit the tab, it'll hit the connected walls and put those in. So a quick way of doing that. And there we go. There's our start of our project with the ground floor, above ground and below ground walls with a foundation.